Imagine an alternate universe where the four seasons of this dropped instead of Korra. Yeah, I want to live there. No one talks about Legend of Korra fight scenes, and I think we should change that. Since Korra is trending, let's all take a second to appreciate Bolin. Korra is trending as she deserves. Legend of Korra was a good ass show, but y'all wanna hate on it because you wanted more of Aang. Korra's story was important. Aang's story had been told. I love both. I can't understand why people didn't like Korra. I mean, opinions for sure, but to fully dislike it? Bro. Both were important and essential to the Avatar universe. No two avatars have the same perspective or growth. Man, this debate is getting fucking real. Even Netflix had to step in. Hello guys, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that little bell right there so that you can get notifications every time I upload a video, okay? Enjoy. What is up guys, this is Andy Matrix from andyartstv. And what I was just reading were those were like Twitter comments, okay? I mean, shit gets real when Netflix had to step in and say something. That's how you know this is serious. There's a huge debate about the incredibly popular cartoon, which really it should be a freaking anime, but it's a cartoon because it was made in America. Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Or should I say Avatar: Legend of Korra. I'm going to explain why these two are so different. And in reality, which one is better than which. Because the thing is, Aang had his own strengths and weaknesses, and Korra had her own strengths and weaknesses. You know, we grew up with Aang, but we kind of like, we hanged out with Korra. And I know why a lot of you guys want to hang out with her. So let's go ahead and dive in. You see, let's start with Aang. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Aang because, see, Aang inherited. In the story, Aang inherited a lot of Avatar Roku's problems. So Avatar Roku did not finish off his friend, Avatar, what's his name? Sozin. His friend Sozin, who basically backstabbed him. And Avatar Roku, instead of, finishing off his friend, he showed him mercy. But then when Avatar Roku's island, his home island, was in danger, Sozin took the opportunity to let Avatar Roku die. So Avatar Roku feels guilty for, putting this burden on Aang. And then of course, the Fire Nature went and attacked the air nomads. Which wasn't easy because the air nomads are, they're in the freaking mountains, so they're not that easy to take down, okay? But Aang, the thing about Aang was a sensitive creature. Okay, he was sensitive. He did not want the Avatar. He did not want the responsibility of the Avatar. He wanted to be part. He wanted to dedicate himself to the air nomads. Okay, and Aang was very innovative. He was very innovative. But Aang, he lacked physical strength. Okay, Aang lacked physical strength. But his battle strategies were great. I mean, the way he fought was absolutely amazing. We've seen it in fights with him and Bumi. You see it in the fight with him and Ozai. Aang had the coolest strategies. Okay, he was a great fighter, but his physicality, he wasn't exactly built for strength. And what he lacked in strength, he made up in wit, in intelligence, in innovation, in strategy. Basically using his brain, his mind. The air nomads were intelligent people, right? So, and just a little bit about the Avatar cycle, because you gotta understand, the reason why Aang is the way he is because going back to Kyoshi, Kyoshi lived for a long time. And the reason why she lived for a long time is basically to make up for what the previous Avatar didn't do, which was Avatar Kuruk, who was an airbender, he was a waterbender from the Water Tribe. And he was born in the Water Tribe, and Avatar Kuruk did not take the did not take the responsibility of an avatar seriously. As a matter of fact, he used his avatar, skills to flirt and show off and do all this shit, right? Basically, he was all about having fun and no work, and he didn't involve himself with world affairs. Avatar Kyoshi, on the other hand, oh, excuse me, hold on. Avatar Kuruk died at age 33, right? And then when came Avatar Kyoshi lived to 230. So she was like the oldest living avatar. And unlike Avatar Kuru, her previous reincarnation, she took the job of the Avatar seriously and she got very involved with world affairs. Okay? And she got very involved with world affairs. And Avatar Kyoshi, she did not want it. You can tell that she tried to live very long so that to make up for the previous avatars, bullshit. She dedicated herself to justice, right? Now, Avatar Roku, he had a very close relationship with people, and while Avatar Kyoshi was very serious, Avatar Roku was a bit more laid back, and he was a people's person. He was kind of a family man, you could say. He made friends with Monkey Atsu and the Air Nomads. He had a longtime friend from the Fire Nation, Zozen. And and then of course with the whole Zozen, him dying on the volcano, then he basically passed on his regrets onto Aang, and Aang, the two previous reincarnations accepted the role of the Avatar, but Aang rejected the role of the Avatar and ran away, right? He ran away, and he had to deal with with the burden of being an Avatar, and of course being frozen for 100 years. He he had to make up for those 100 years by learning all three the remaining elements at a very young age, at age 12. No avatar has ever learned 3 elements in 1 year at the age of 12. Aang is very intelligent. Okay, he's very talented. Now, when we move on to Korra, when we move on to Avatar Korra, the problem that she had is that she was physically gifted. She was very sporty. Unlike Aang, she was very sporty. So already she's making up for what Aang lacked. Unlike Aang, she was very sporty. She was powerful physically. She even played was it pro bending, and at a younger age than Aang, she mastered water, earth, and fire. But where Korra was weak is in her spirituality, which basically caused her to basically not be good at airbending. Airbending was her weakness in a way. So this is why Aang and Korra are very different, because the avatar spirit is perfect, but the human is flawed. Every reincarnation has its own flaws. Korra, she lacked, Korra was very powerful in battle, but she did not have the same innovation as Aang. Okay, Aang was very strategic in battle. Korra was just bullheaded. It was just head in first. That was Korra. That's what differentiates Aang and Korra, and why a lot of people like Aang and they don't like Korra, because Korra, she's bullheaded. Even the creator said Korra is bullheaded, and she was meant to be that way because that was the because the next avatar has to be somewhat different from the previous. So she lacked spirituality and she lacked innovation, but she was very strong. So Korra's story had to be told because the demand for Avatar was so great, and the creators, Michael Dante DiMartino, he did not want the in Legend of Korra, he did not want to go through the entire cycle of learning all the elements again. Again, he didn't want to go through that again because we already saw that with Aang. So basically, they just kind of made her very gifted. She knew all these she had all these bending powers. And in Avatar Korra, we saw other things like lava bending, lightning, metal bending, what was it? Chi blocking, more chi blocking. We saw an airbender being able to fly. We saw a lot of things with Legend of Korra, right? But the problem with Legend of Korra is like unlike the original Avatar, unlike Aang, her story it kind of lacked purpose, because with Aang the story was so much deeper, and it was driven by a purpose. Aang had a purpose, he was the last airbender, and he had to fight Avatar Osai. There was a time limit. There was a time limit on Aang, right? And with Legend of Korra, in season 1, you kind of had this like high school drama, Korra dating Mako, and Mako, leaving her, and you had this kind of like this high school dating drama. A lot of people did not like that. That was one of the problems with Legend of Korra. So Legend of Korra in and of itself is a good show, but it lacked purpose. Now, that being said, it was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the villains, what I really like about Legend of Korra was the villains. Okay, so what was it? Among the Equalists, who took away people's bending power. What was it? Tarlok. Tarlok, he was kind of a lame villain, but because of Tarlok, he whipped the freaking Avatar connections out of Korra. This is one of the things I didn't like about Korra, because in Legend of Korra, they showed us the first Avatar, Avatar 1, and the history of, what was it? Rava and Vatu, how the Avatar came to be. We saw the history. But then the problem was that then Tarlok came and whipped her. I mean, we saw the spirit of Rava getting whipped, and all those connections. She lost connection to Aang. She lost connection to Roku, Kyoshi. She lost connection to even Avatar 1. With Legend of Korra, the Avatar cycle basically restarted, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that the Avatar cycle restarted. It was very sad, and I think a lot of people got pissed off at this. However, again, that was season 2. Then season 3 came Zahir. Zahir is one of my favorite villains. Is one of my favorite villains because he's trying to gain freedom through chaos. Freedom through chaos, and it's a crazy philosophy, but it's an airbending villain, because you never imagined that an airbender could be a villain, and this is what makes him such a great villain. And I keep repeating that. Zahir was one of the coolest villains ever. One of the best written villains I've ever seen. And this is where people kind of like stay with watching Legend of Korra, because the villains are so they're so luring. However, in season 4 kind of sucked, because Kuvira was pretty cool, but she was not the coolest villain. She was basically a dictator, kind of like a communist or a socialist, and hopefully I don't get attacked on the comments, but saying these political things. But she gave villagers, resources, and in exchange of those resources, she had the right to rule their village. Right? And that was kind of like basically communism. It's a way of conquest, and it really sucked. But and going back to these two, the reason why people don't like Legend of Korra is because, number one, Korra, she's bullheaded. Korra, she is kind of dumb. She was not as spiritual as Aang. And if you watch the fight, when you saw the fight with Kuvira and Korra, when she was fighting Kuvira, Korra was just going head in first, like she always does, because she's bullheaded. And she was not thinking of a strategy, going in at a different angle. Instead, she just kept fighting, mindlessly. If it were Aang, Aang always came at people from a different angle. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna use this technique. I'm gonna move around them. Aang always thought of a strategy. He always, Aang was an innovator, you know? And this is why people like Aang over Korra. Now, Korra is still a good show. We saw a lot of cool things there. Especially like the story of Korra had to be told because it also gave, it also explained how the Avatar came to be. That's why Korra had to be made. But in general, people prefer Aang. Now, Korra did bring a new audience, like what's it, the LGBT audience or whatever. And I'm not trying to get like political here, but yeah, Korra kind of brought in a new audience, and I'm not sure if the new audience liked the previous show with Aang, Avatar: The Last Airbender, but that's basically what happened. And this is why, the verdict, Aang is a much better Avatar. I repeat, Aang is a much better Avatar than Korra. So I hate to say it, guys, but this is why. And now you can go ahead and argue with me on the on the comments below. You can dislike this video. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But this is why people prefer Aang over Korra. Aang was also more likable. Aang was also more likable. And yeah, man. And I'm not saying that Korra is a bad person. She's not a bad person. It's just the way she is. Her reincarnation, her karma, her spiritual karma, I like to say. It's, her personality, it's kind of the problem. Oh man, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. But yeah, man. So anyways, if you guys like this video, thank you for watching. If you guys like the video, leave a comment below. Hit the like button. Check out my Facebook, my Twitter. Check out andyartstv, where I also wrote an article about. I go into deeper details as to why people choose Aang over Korra most of the time. So this is it for this video. I can't wait to see what people are gonna say about this. So subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below. This is andyartstv, your boy Andy Matrix. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you later.